And Saturday I got a call and said, hey, can you take my session? And I said, yeah, sure, thank you very much. But he did take good notes and left me with some good notes. So I'm going to stick to his script, okay? Which means I'm going to be looking down a lot, reading. But we'll try to have some fun anyway. It'll definitely be one of the most exciting ones you've been to, I'm sure. Okay, so good. So we're talking about digital transformation, how to make that align with your business improvement goals, or actually it's probably the reverse. But we'll start with what we have. All right. So today your plants may be operating well, and perhaps you've reached a level of performance you're satisfied with, but your plants are producing your product, your customers are happy, and reducing costs is always a goal that's ongoing, but sometimes it's difficult to achieve. We recognize that you face many challenges in your operations today, and that may be a distraction from your drive to reach peak performance in the plants. And I've hit the wrong button. There we go. Okay. So industrial manufacturers, producers, and whether energy and utility companies are beginning to recognize that a new set of technologies and business practices are poised to disrupt their existing markets. This will lead to more efficient competitors, new and different business models and solutions, and new competitors in the marketplace. So how can these companies position themselves to take advantage of emerging opportunities and counter the competitive threats? Okay, super. Here we have the functional levels represented, showing the information flow across or up and down the organization. This is basically what we have affectionately called the Perdue Model, and it's still functionally valid today. It's not maybe, before we actually had hardware that associated with these levels. Now it's more of a functional association. Oh, he said that later. Okay. So what has changed is the practice of creating the physical structure that match the functional layers. Today, information must be available from everywhere, wherever it is needed. Digitization makes this possible. However, digital transformation of operations must compete with other business investment opportunities. Okay. Plants and sites performance needs to be assessed to determine the opportunity for value creation versus risk. Of course, these assessments need to be applied with the corporate governance discipline, okay? So obviously each company has its own corporate governance and a discipline associated with that, so that the investment choice will optimize the value of the project portfolio over the horizon of the project or projects. Using plant performance metrics based on maximum asset capability assets allow you to view available options that could improve the bottom line and improve the value created. Investment period issues such as reducing cost or shortening project time, as well as the return period issues such as being able to sell more for longer, as well as producing product earlier, are typical outcomes. Was that confusing? Do I need to reread that? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Automation project cost versus impact on operations. This is always interesting to me, just a side note, is how much you spend on automation and the benefit you get out of it. We tend to forget that, don't we? And every time you want to spend some money on operation to automate it, oh, we don't need that. It works fine. But look at the benefit you gain. Okay, automation, of course, is one of the main manufacturing systems. In major projects, the CapEx that is associated with the automation purchase is typically in the 2 to 4% range. However, our research shows that a well-implemented automation project can have a much larger impact on the operations in the range of 15 to 30%. Let that sink in. I like that, because I'm an automation guy. Okay, automation often is taken for granted, but we can reduce the risk over the life of the plant. In addition, selecting a modern automation system can provide opportunities to improve the operations over time as new business requirements occur. But before you make the selection, or even before you decide to spend capital, you first need to okay, that's quite a sentence. You first need to thoroughly assess the impact of such an investment. Okay, let me paraphrase. Okay, before you make this selection, and spend the capital, you need to figure out what you're doing, okay? Because moving from your current position into automation is going to change, and in order to make the most impact with what you're going to spend, you got to have a good plan. Okay, that's worked better for me. All right. Okay, when a process is designed, there are hidden or contingent processing capabilities which, when unleashed, can improve productivity and/or quality of output. Through the plant performance assessment and analysis, we call the flexing, but it's a process we call flexing the plant to achieve your maximum asset capability. The analogy is building up and flexing your manufacturing muscles using the original body, aka the machine. The plant or the machine is based on the engineering principle that when designing a process, there are hidden or contingent processing capabilities which, when unleashed, can improve productivity and/or the quality of output, especially in a licensed technology where the conservative factors are built into the warranted design. As the process is utilized, capabilities change over time, either positive or negative, resulting in underperformance of the assets or overperformance, but it's not sustainable. Finding these windows of opportunity are value creators, allowing the new plant asset capability. Often, but not always, a control system migration is an opportune time to reevaluate and reset the operational expectations based on the sound engineering design or redesign. Sometimes the opportunity to add value is a software change or an application modification. This is often the least expensive investment option available. However, you don't have to, However, if you do not do an assessment of the plant performance, these opportunities cannot be quantified. Okay. He has no notes on this. Awesome. Okay. So there's always a risk versus performance and a value versus effort assessment you need to do to evaluate what you're choosing. And there are various and sundry tools to help you with that. Okay. Project justification. Once plant assessments are completed, it is relatively straightforward to compare opportunities directly on their net present value or projected ROA. Project justification will come through these quantified improvements, such as increased asset utilization. Well, you can read the list. But if you take a look at those lists, those are some areas that you can use to measure your performance and your improvement on. Okay. When you're developing a project, the project must be set up with the key stakeholders from the various management teams that will be impacted by the decision of the team. Of course, this project has already been approved by the corporate governance process, and now the team has to decide what has to be done and how to do it. So here are some key factors that ARC finds for success, and these are the things you need to measure before and after, because anytime you justify your project, your management is going to come back and say, hey, I want to see if we achieved what we asked for. And if you don't know where you started, that's where the assessment comes in, right? Okay. So with that, I think that's the last one.